I think I'm traumatized by my wife's affair. To start, my wife, 31F, and I, 33M, have been in couples therapy for 2 years. We each see our own therapist as well. A few years ago, I discovered her affairs with her coworker. It was ugly. We both figured there was no hope and figured divorce was imminent. But we decided to go to therapy to see if we could save our marriage. We have made tremendous progress and we're both still working at it. We still have a lot to learn about ourselves, but we are committed towards a relationship that actually works for both of us. I'm proud of what we've accomplished as individuals and as a couple, and we are totally different people. The problem for me is that I am fixated on the affairs and it's hijacking any sort of progress. Most of it seems to be in a sexual context. When we're intimate, I imagine I'm the person she had the affair with. I picture when, where, etc. And I replay that image in my head. When I'm watching porn, I specifically seek out videos that involve affairs or videos of locations she had her affairs at. Although I don't think she's cheating anymore, I can't seem to get past this fixation. She's aware of this and so is our therapist. I figure something is causing me to still feel this way and we haven't been able to pinpoint it. It's incredibly difficult on the both of us. My confidence in myself just hasn't been the same since all of this. Generally I feel fine, but there are times when I feel terribly insecure about myself and depressed. To start, my wife, 31F, and I, 33M, have been in couples therapy for 2 years. The problem for me is that I am fixated on the affairs and it's hijacking any sort of progress. You could spend a few more years trying to get over it. Or you admit that this doesn't seem to be working and move on to someone who didn't cheat on you. You've tried more than anyone could reasonably ask of you. It's time to walk away. Man, you talking to a professional. What do you think some people on Reddit can do for you? You may be suffering from betrayal trauma and/or infidelity-related PTSD. Both are common after infidelity and can be crippling. The sad truth is you may never stop being triggered by her affair, and sex seems to be a trigger. Ultimately, she's your biggest trigger. I have known EDMR therapy to be helpful for some. What does she do when you are triggered? How does she reassure you? How does she make you feel safe and secure? It's not going to go away. She cheated. It's going to only eat away at you. Walk away, heal yourself, and start over. I do wish you all the best. She cheated on you and you've tried to move forward the absolute best you can. The reality is it obviously hurt and still hurts you so badly. Why stay with someone that has done this to you? Look at how you feel and how you feel about yourself. It's destroying you. Maybe it's time to leave and focus on you, and then focus on finding someone that's loyal and wouldn't do something like that to you. If my partner cheated, I know I'd have to leave. It wouldn't be a thing I could ever get over. Try surviving infidelity. This post just makes me so fucking sad. Bro, stop hurting yourself so much. You're 30 years old. You can find someone better and live the rest of your life a million times happier. Me, M17, got assaulted by my mom, F50. Just 2 days ago my mom punched me in the face twice. While I had COVID. She is a registered nurse. The police got called. The state trooper asked me if she hit me and I said she can't lose her job. She supports my sister. I'm living with a friend now. She blocked me on everything. She's bit me before after she doesn't get what she wanted, and everything physical seems to happen in a car. I've gotten hit, kicked and punched, and a glass of barbecue sauce thrown at me. What should I do? This has been going on since I was 5 and my dad is out of the picture. She's my sister's only parent and I don't want to hurt my sister. I'm very worried for her as I'm going to boot camp in 6 months. Edit. I am in communication with my grandfather who is willing to take my sister in, but I am still worried about pressing charges on my mother. Things happened a few days ago and even a few years ago, and I just want to get out of this town and forget about it. I'm not sure what to think. I'm gonna come out and say it. Your mom deserves to be fired. No doctor's office, or hospital, or any kind of caretaker would hire someone who would bite, punch, kick their own child. Your mother deserves jail time. There's no excuse for such monstrous actions. I'm livid for you. Op. Be safe. And call CPS. As you're now out of the house, your sister is likely to take your place as mommy dearest's target. Your sister is better off with a loving foster family than with an abusive mother. I'd be telling the cops. With you gone, your sister will probably be the one to cop the abuse. Does your sister suffer abuse as well? I went through this in high school with my mom after my dad died. They were divorced for years. She seemed to only target me and not my sis, so I just left. Our relationship is still garbage. Don't go to boot camp. Find a job, stay in school, find a place, be there for your sister. Please don't leave her with her mum. My sister left me with my mum to live with our dad and now my mental health is fucked. I wish she took me with her. Try police or child protection. Stay away. You need to press charges. It doesn't matter if she loses her job. She needs to lose her job. He's endangering patients. How do you think she treats her patients if she's treating you, her child, like this? She fucking bit you and this has been going on since you were 5. You need to tell the police you want to press charges and call CPS. How old is your sister? How confident are you that your mom has not and will not target her? Do you have family or friends that can step in if your mother becomes aggressive towards your sister once you go to boot camp? Do you and your sister have a good relationship? Will she tell you if your mom is targeting her? Please realize that your sister is only safe while you are the target. Your mom will change her target to your sister after you have left. Your sister is not safe. You are not safe. You need to report this abuse to family, and to a service like CPS. Friend's wife possibly flirting with my husband. My, 28 female, husband, 29 male. And I moved to new city recently where we only know a handful of people. We are friends with another couple here that my husband knew from our old city. Mostly the husband, we met the wife here. They have helped us tremendously with our relocation and welcomed us like family. We have togethers and a couple of drinks once in a while. From the start I have been getting a weird vibe from the wife. I mostly kept my feelings to myself because I had no proof or anything. Just a feeling. Overall she is very nice and I really had no reason to think anything bad of her. Last weekend we went over to their house and after we had a couple of drinks we were all talking and I was taken aback by how this girl kept looking at my husband. He was talking and she was looking at him like he was the most amazing thing in the world. It wasn't just a glance, she looked at him like that for a while. Her husband was standing right next to her but he was scrolling through his phone and didn't see it. I thought my husband was too tipsy to notice. Today my husband said that he needed to tell me something. He said that last weekend when we were hanging out, he felt her constantly touching him. He also said that it wasn't the first time. He told me that on another occasion when we were in the process of moving here the same thing happened with the touching. I remember this night clearly because I had told my husband that we needed to have an early night and he proceeded to go stay up late drinking with them. I went outside and suddenly everything got quiet because they could tell I was upset about him being drunk. It's not that she touches him inappropriately, it's that it's constant touching and he gets weird flirty vibes from it too. My husband and I both feel very uncomfortable by this and feel like we need to take a step back from this friendship. They have been there for us and we don't want to offend them or hurt their feelings. Especially since nothing has actually happened and lines haven't been crossed yet. How should we handle this? Constantly touching your husband is not nothing. You won't be offending them or hurting their feelings if you step back. She knows what she's doing. You're worried about offending a woman who's flirting with your husband? She doesn't give two hoots about you. Your gut instinct about her was right op. Cut them off or confront her. And please give her husband a heads up. Especially since nothing has actually happened and lines haven't been crossed yet. Only, something did actually happen, and lines were actually crossed. Prioritize your marriage over anyone else's feelings, especially when those feelings led a married woman you thought was a friend to openly flirt with and put her hands on your husband. Now is not the time for timidity and beating around the pubic bush. You, not so friendly 23. FFs, we're taking about your marriage. You don't want to offend them? Fuck that. She clearly disrespected your marriage. I would stay the hell away from her if I were you. I'm far more of a straight shooter so there is no ambiguity. I would say, girl, we are no longer going to spend time together. While we appreciate what you have done for us to get settled here, we do not appreciate the vibes you're giving my husband. You've been very inappropriate and we would appreciate it if you did not contact us anymore. Your husband seems to not be interested so I don't think your relationship is in any danger. He should just stay sober and maintain space. He shouldn't sit next to her. He shouldn't stand next to her. He just shouldn't give her a chance to be touchy. Even in marriage it's not unusual to develop a little crush. Give a little time to get over it. If she can't then you can talk about confronting her and or ending the friendship. Trust your husband. No more friendship. She will know why. Do not worry about hurting feelings because she certainly was looking to completely obliterate yours. If a man was inappropriately touching a woman, there would, quite rightly, be an outcry. Her husband deserves to know the truth. You need to stop seeing them both and send a message or email etc. to explain why. You need to hand responsibility for this problem to his wife. You are both on the same page, so stay strong. X big hug X. 26M. I'm thinking of breaking up with my fiancé, 26F. Context. I have known her for about 10–12 years and have been in a long-distance relationship for 6. Mid-2021 we decided to get married. Unfortunately, the pandemic has made it difficult to see each other because I live in a country with very strict borders. At first everything seemed okay, but we started to have fights about the budget of the wedding. I didn't want to spend much because we would have to move while she wanted to go with an expensive wedding. Eventually this led to her breaking up with me for a couple of days. She told me that we aren't on the same page, that if we can't even agree on a wedding, what are we doing, etc. We made up and she finally agreed that under the circumstances it was probably wiser to save up as much as possible, so the wedding was back on. The big twist was that 1 week before the wedding her parents and my fiancé got COVID. This, for me, meant that it was impossible to go because it was too much of a risk. She insisted that we didn't have to meet. I should be able to only sign the paper without seeing her and there is no COVID risk. This led to another fight where once again she told me I don't care about the relationship and she once again broke up with me. A couple of days later she started to talk normally with me, but I told her I really had to think things through. She was really sad and sincerely apologized, saying the situation was too much to handle. And I understand her frustration. Long distance sucks, but having said that, it really scares me that if I do get married, every time we fight she'll want to break up or tell me I don't care about her, and my anxiety is bad enough as it is. My mental health couldn't take a life of feeling guilty for things out of my control. Anybody has some advice? I have no idea what to do. The casual threatening of breaking up is eroding the foundation of trust. I would start having doubts about how she would handle bigger life issues that happen after the wedding. Her breaking up with you every time something doesn't go her way is a big red flag. The fact that y'all are breaking up this many times before even marrying should be enough of a reason to either mature and talk shit out instead of breaking up and then apologizing, or just end it right here. Marriage won't fix any of your problems, and it makes breaking up a giant, expensive pain. Why the rush to get married anyway? You need to spend some time together, live together. Make sure this is the person who makes you feel safe and loved. Make sure this is the person who makes you feel at peace in the world. If you don't have that, you should not be marrying that person. She's too irrational. It's definitely something you need to think over or live with each other in an apartment before getting married, because you need to build on that connection properly. What you see now is a glimpse of what it will like after a wedding. You've been in a long-distance relationship for 6 years? And unless you say otherwise, you guys haven't lived with each other at all? Or spent extended time with each other? I know you said you've known her for a decade, but it's a different story when you guys are dating, so have you really thought this through? You don't sound compatible. She doesn't seem to realize that breaking up and acting like she does isn't indicative of her and you being lifelong partners. You should be able to have calm, rational conversations about your respective views on any situation without breaking up. You're doing yourself a favor. Or marry her and end up getting a divorce and wishing you had trusted your feelings. I'm confused. Is this an online relationship, an online marriage? Or do you guys plan on coming together and live together like a real relationship? Online relationship just remind me of a 7-year-old coming home from grade school telling his mommy or daddy he has a girlfriend at school.